Okay, so we will start in a comfortable seated pose. Either legs crossed, you can have the legs out on your mat, straight out, whatever's comfortable to you. Go ahead and let your hands rest wherever's comfortable. And we'll start to close the eyes. Starting to take some deep inhales and exhales. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Starting to let the day go. Bring ourselves into our rooms and onto our mats. Feeling the breath, prepare the body for the practice we're about to do. So taking a few minutes here to just start to recognize that breath. Feeling it moving into the body with each inhale. And then feeling it leave the body with each exhale. Taking a few more deep breaths. And we'll take one more deep inhale. And exhale it all out. If you would like to slowly open the eyes at this point, you can, or keeping the eyes closed, whatever's comfortable. We'll take the arms, bringing them down alongside. As we inhale, bringing those arms up. And as we exhale, twisting to the left, dropping those arms down. And if it's comfortable, bringing the gaze over that back shoulder. Or just hiding the head wherever's comfortable on that neck. Take those deep inhales and exhales. On our next inhale, we'll bring those arms back up, bringing ourselves back forward. As we exhale, coming down to the right side, dropping those hands down. Again, if it's comfortable to bring the gaze over that back shoulder, then go ahead and bring it over there, or just having that gaze wherever's comfortable in the neck. Taking deep inhales and exhales. We'll take one more breath here. On that next inhale, bringing those arms back up, coming back forward. Exhale, dropping that left arm down onto the mat, and just slowly kind of leaning over that left arm, getting that nice stretch in that right side body. Taking deep breaths. If it's comfortable to you, you can start to open the chest up just a little bit up towards the ceiling. Kind of rotating it forward, bringing the gaze up, or just staying wherever's comfortable. On that next inhale, bringing ourselves back up. As we exhale, dropping that right arm down and leaning over that arm, feeling that stretch all down that left side body. Again, if it's comfortable to you, you can start to open that chest up towards the ceiling, bringing that gaze up towards the sky, or just staying right where you're at. On that next inhale, we'll bring ourselves back up, bringing that arm up. As we exhale, bringing those arms down to the sides. If we have the feet crossed, we'll take the feet, placing them onto the floor, onto the mat, taking the hands, placing them on the knees, on the outside of the shins, wherever's going to be comfortable here. And I'll turn sideways for you guys. So as we inhale, we're going to do our cat-cows here in our seated position. So we're going to inhale, bring the chest forward, bringing the gaze up. As we exhale, rounding that spine, tucking that chin into the chest. Inhale, coming back forward, gaze going up. Exhale, roll that spine in, chin to the chest. Inhale, coming back up, gaze going up. Exhale, rounding that spine. Inhale, bringing that chest up. Exhale, round that spine. Inhale, bring that chest up. And exhale, round that spine. This time we'll inhale, just coming up to a neutral spine. And we're going to slowly make our way down onto our backs. We'll take the right knee, bring it into the chest. Kind of give it just a slight little pull, just to kind of open that hip just a little bit. And then as we exhale, we're going to switch those legs, dropping that right leg down, bringing that left leg up, giving it that little bit of that pull into that left armpit area. Exhale, drop that leg down, bring that right leg in. And exhale, dropping that leg down, switching over to that left. And exhaling that leg down. Inhaling the right in. Exhale down. And bringing that left leg. Exhaling it down. Bringing in our right leg. And exhale down. Switch those legs. Exhale down. We'll do it one more time on each side, bringing that right leg in. And exhale down, switch over to that left. And exhale that leg down. We're going to take the feet, placing them flat on the mat. Try to walk the feet as close to the hips as we can get them. So if you kind of walk the feet up and then you kind of shift yourself down, we'll take the hands, place them right under those hips flat on the mat. As we inhale, we're going to lift the hips up towards the sky. And exhale down. Inhale, lifting those hips up. Exhale down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale down. Inhaling up. Exhale down. And one more time, inhaling those hips up. And exhale down. We'll release the legs down onto the mat. And slowly start to roll over so you're onto your bellies. We're going to take the elbows, kind of placing them right under the shoulders. And placing those hands flat down onto the mat, or you can kind of bring them together in front of you or clasping them. Whatever kind of gives you a little bit of a firm base here. If we can, we're going to tuck those toes onto the mat, start to lift ourselves up, and then walk those feet in towards the hands. So we're in a modified down dog onto our elbows. So if we're down on our mat and we can't quite get ourselves up, you can kind of take the hands coming up onto hands and knees, and then coming down onto the elbows, tucking those toes, lifting those hips up, and trying to walk them up as far as is comfortable. Letting the head hang. We'll take a few breaths here. If this is too much on the shoulders, we can go into a down dog, taking a little bit of that strain off. Taking one more breath here. And then we'll drop down onto those knees. Tuck those big toes together, sink the hips down over the heels, forehead on the mat. Arms can be stretched out in front of us or down alongside the legs. Take deep inhales and exhales. Try to let that lower back relax, let those shoulders relax. Take a couple more breaths here. And on our next inhale, we'll come up onto those hands and those knees. Taking a second to take those wrists, bringing them right under those shoulders. And then we'll tuck those toes, lift those hips up towards the sky, come into a down dog for just a breath. And then walk those feet up to those hands. And we're going to fold over those legs, so putting a bend in those knees. Letting that head relax. Letting that neck relax, that upper back just hang. We'll take a hold of each elbow and just start to sway side to side. And then coming into stillness. Let those hands fall back down. We'll place those hands on those thighs and slowly start to roll ourselves up. Stacking those vertebrae on top of each other one at a time. And when we come all the way up, rolling those shoulders down the back. Letting those hands come to the sides. Closing our eyes here at the top. Taking a deep inhale. And exhaling it out. We'll open those eyes back up. We're gonna take the the right leg, stepping it back long on our mat, with that back foot parallel with our mat, getting into our warrior two, so the heel of that front leg is lined up about in the middle of that back foot, so taking a second to line ourselves up, putting that bend in that front knee, and then bringing those arms out, gaze going over that front middle finger. We'll add a little bit of movement to this, so we'll rotate those palms up towards the sky. And as we exhale, start to roll them back down. Inhale, rolling them up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhaling up. Exhale, down. And we'll do it one more time. Inhaling those palms up. Exhaling down. Holding here for a breath. Exhaling it out. We'll let those hands fall to the hips. Rotating that back foot, so we're up on those toes. Walking that front foot over to the side just a little bit, so we're on those railroad tracks, so those feet are parallel with each other. When we feel steady, we'll inhale the arms up. And if we feel steady here, we'll bring the gaze up towards the ceiling and slowly start to shift those shoulders back, engaging that core, helping to take a little bit of that strain off that lower back. Holding here for just a couple more breaths. And as we exhale, starting to bring ourselves back straight up, taking a breath. On that exhale, starting to tilt ourselves forward, bringing those hands down onto the mat. And if we can, stepping that left leg back into a down dog. Take a couple breaths here. You need to shake that left leg out a little bit, feel free. Taking a few more breaths. On that next inhale, walk those feet up to those hands. Folding over those legs. And inhale all the way up to standing. Bringing those arms up with us. Exhaling down. We'll release the hands down to the sides. We're going to do that same thing on our other side. So we'll take our left foot, stepping it back long, and I'll change sides for you. Step that left leg back long. So that back foot's parallel with that mat. Taking a second to line up that front foot. Putting a bend in that front leg. And then bringing those arms out. Gaze is over that front middle finger. We'll take a breath, and then we'll start adding those little palm circles. Actually, we'll change it on this side. We'll do some shoulder shrugs. So when we inhale, we'll just lift those shoulders up. And as we exhale, just the shoulders come down. Inhale those shoulders up. Exhaling them down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhale up. Exhale down. We'll do one more. Inhaling up. And exhale down. Take a breath. And then slowly release those hands down to the hips. And rotating that back foot so we're up on those toes. Again, walking those feet so we're on those railroad tracks. And when we feel ready, we'll inhale the arms up. We'll bring that gaze up towards the ceiling and slowly start to shift those shoulders back. Remembering to engage that core to help that lower back. Again, we don't have to go into this back bend if it's not there for us today. Take a couple more breaths here. On that next inhale, bring ourselves back upright. Taking a breath. And on that next exhale, bringing ourselves over that front leg, bringing the hands onto the mat. We'll take that front foot, this time stepping it back to a high plank or dropping onto our knees. As we exhale, coming all the way onto the mat. Inhale, just lifting that chest. And exhale down. Inhale, push back to a down dog. Taking a couple breaths here. Using these down dogs to help us catch our breath. Again, if we want to go out of the down dog, dropping into a child's pose at any point, please feel free. We'll take a couple more breaths here. On our next inhale, we're going to lift our right leg up. As we exhale, we're going to sweep that leg forward, dropping it between the thumbs. And rotating that left foot so it's down parallel with the mat. Taking those hands, placing them on the thigh, slowly bringing ourselves back up. We'll straighten that front leg, making sure those hips are nice and even with each other. Bringing those arms out to the sides. Slowly starting to shift that upper body over that front leg and then tilting ourselves down. That left arm coming straight out from that shoulder, fingers pointing up towards the sky. The gaze can be down at the foot, up at that left hand or at the side wall. Trying to keep that length in the back, so if we feel we're starting to dip forward, start to come up just a little bit. We can always have a bend in that front knee. Taking a few breaths here. As we inhale, putting that bend in that front knee, coming back up to our warrior two. Gaze going over that front middle finger, bend in that front knee. Few breaths here. And we'll slowly start to kind of cartwheel the arms forward so that right hand starts to come down on the outside of that foot. The left arm comes back behind on that opposite side of the foot. As we step that right foot back into a down dog. Take a few breaths here. Again, if you need to drop into that child's pose whenever we're in a down dog, please feel free. Using this opportunity to catch the breath if we've lost it. If we're in a child's pose, come back up into our down dog. As we inhale, we lift that left leg this time. Exhale, bringing it forward, dropping that foot between those thumbs. Rotating that back foot so it's parallel with the mat. Placing those hands up on that side, helping ourselves up. We'll straighten that front knee. Taking those hands, placing on the hips, making sure they're nice and even. Bringing those arms out to the side. And slowly starting to shift that upper body over that front leg and then stilting down, bringing that back. Right arm straight up towards the sky. The gaze again is either up at those fingers, at that side wall, or down at that bottom foot. You can always have a bend in that front knee. And if you feel yourself starting to shift the weight forward or moving the back down, start to come out of the pose a little bit. Take a couple more breaths here. And slowly putting that bend in that front knee, bringing ourselves up to our warrior two for a couple breaths. And we'll slowly start to cartwheel those arms down. So we start to bring that left hand down on the outside of that front foot. That right arm comes down on the inside, rotating up on those back toes. We're going to step that left foot back into that high plank or onto those knees. As we exhale all the way down onto the mat. Inhale, just lifting that chest. Exhale down. And this time we'll push back to a child's pose. So putting those big toes together, sinking those hips down over the heels, arms stretched out or alongside the legs, forehead on the mat. Taking those deep inhales and exhales. And using this moment to catch the breath if we've lost it. Or to bring ourselves back onto our mats if we've started to wander. Taking one more breath down here. On that next inhale, coming up to those hands and those knees. Lining those wrists under those shoulders. We'll tuck those toes and lift those hips up towards the sky. Taking a breath here. On that next inhale, we'll lift that right leg up. As we exhale, sweep it forward, dropping it between those thumbs. Taking that back foot, we're going to rotate that heel down. But this time our toes are going to be pointed off kind of to an angle. So we're not fully parallel with that mat. Taking those hands, placing them on the thigh, bringing ourselves up. So take those hands, place them on the hips. Make sure they're facing straight forward and are even with each other. So we need to kind of give those hips a little assist. Even if you come up on those back toes a little bit, that's fine. Or have to shorten that stance. Putting a bend in that front knee. So we'll hold our warrior two with our warrior one here with our hands on our hips. Again, we can bring that back bend into the pose by bringing the gaze up towards the sky and slowly shifting those shoulders back. Again, gauge that core. Or we can stay straight up standing, whatever's comfortable to you. If it's more comfortable, we can take the hands kind of resting them on that lower back. Take a couple more breaths here. As we inhale, bringing ourselves back up. We'll take those hands, place them in front of the heart. Taking a breath. And then we'll slowly, if we can, start to twist towards that bent leg. We might not get very far into that twist. We're kind of in an awkward angle here. So if it's not comfortable, we can just stay straight forward. Or just as however we're at in that twist. Take a couple more breaths here. And then slowly start to bring ourselves back forward. We'll inhale the arms up. And as we exhale, coming over that front leg, stepping that right foot back to a down dog. Go ahead and if you need to kind of rotate that left ankle around or shake that left leg around. Take a couple breaths here. On our next inhale, we're going to lift that left leg. As we exhale, shooting that foot forward between the thumbs. Rotating that back foot so it's off at that angle, down onto the mat. Take those hands, placing them on the thighs, bringing ourselves up. Again, adjusting that stance. Once we're in our standing position, take those hands, place them on the hips. Make sure those hips are facing forward. and nice and even. And then putting that bend in that front leg. Take a breath here. And if we want to add that back bend, we'll bring that gaze up towards the sky and slowly start to shift those shoulders back. A little bit of a balance challenge here. Again, we can take those hands, place them on the lower back if that's comfortable, and make sure to engage that core. Taking those deep inhales and exhales. And slowly start to shift ourselves so we're back upright. We'll take those hands, place them in front of that heart. And slowly start to shift ourselves or twist ourselves over that bent knee. Again, we may not get very far, so wherever we're at. And if that twist is not there, we can just keep ourselves facing forward. Whatever's comfortable. Taking those deep inhales and exhales. And we'll bring ourselves back forward. Inhale those arms up. And exhale, folding over that front leg, rotating those back toes up. We'll step that left foot back into that high plank or onto those knees. Dropping down on that exhale, all the way onto the mat. Inhale, just lifting that chest. Exhale down. Inhale, push back to that down dog. Taking those breaths here. You need to roll that right ankle out or shake that right leg out or left leg, whatever's comfortable. On that next inhale, we're going to lift the right leg. As we exhale, sweeping it forward, dropping it down between the thumbs. We're going to drop down onto that back knee. Untuck those toes. Take those hands, place them on that back. Lifting ourselves up. We need to adjust the stance a little bit. You can take that right foot, kind of walk it out to the side just a little bit so it's closer to the edge of the mat. That gives you a little bit more stretch, or you can kind of walk it forward so it's more center. Kind of takes a little bit of the stretch out of that left leg. So we can stay right here, or we can add the back bend. Inhale those arms up. Bring that gaze up towards the sky. Slowly shifting those shoulders back. And breathing, engaging the core. We'll slowly shift ourselves forward. Exhale, coming over that front leg. If we can, tuck those back toes back up, lifting that knee. And then we'll step that right foot back into a down dog. Take those deep breaths. If you need to shake the legs out, shake those legs out. On that next inhale, we'll lift that left leg. As we exhale, shifting that foot forward, dropping it between the thumbs. And dropping down on that back knee, untucking those toes. Taking those hands on that thigh, lifting ourselves up. And if you need to walk that foot out a little bit, or find wherever's comfortable. When we feel ready, we'll inhale those arms up. And if we want to add that back bend in, bringing that gaze up towards the ceiling and slowly shifting those shoulders back, engaging that core. Taking those deep breaths. And slowly bring ourselves back up. Exhale, bring ourselves onto the mat with those hands. Tucking those toes, lifting that knee up. Stepping that left foot back to that high plank or onto those knees. Exhale all the way onto the mat. Inhale, just lifting that chest. Exhale down. Inhale, push back to a child's pose. So big toes together, heel or hips over those heels, forehead on the mat. Arms can either be outstretched or down alongside the legs. Taking those deep inhales and exhales. Taking a few more breaths here. And on that next inhale, bring ourselves up onto our hands and our knees. We'll do those little cat-cows we did in the beginning, but this time on our hands and our knees. So line up those wrists right under the shoulders, knees right under those hips. Inhale, drop, belly down, gaze up. Exhale, roll that spine, tucking that chin to the chest. Inhale, dropping that belly down, gaze going up. Exhale, roll that spine. Inhale, drop that belly down. Exhale, rolling that spine. Inhale, dropping that belly down. Exhale, roll that spine. We'll do it one more time. So inhale that belly down. Exhale, rolling that spine. And as we inhale, coming to a neutral spine. And slowly making our way onto our mat. So having a seat on that mat. We'll take those feet, kicking them straight out in front of us. Taking the left leg, bringing that foot on the mat. And then crossing it over. So that foot's right on the outside of that knee. Sitting up nice and tall. As we inhale here at the top. And exhale, start to twist towards that bent leg, bringing that left or right arm around, right on that thigh. Gaze going back behind. Taking those deep inhales and exhales. On that next inhale, bringing ourselves back forward. We'll untuck that leg. Bring that right leg up. Crossing it over so that foot's right on the outside of that knee. Sitting up nice and tall. Taking an inhale. And as we exhale, twisting towards that bent knee, bringing that left arm right alongside that thigh. Gaze going back behind us. Taking those deep inhales and exhales. And on that next inhale, bring ourselves back forward. Uncrossing that leg. Just let it sit down on the ground and just kind of wiggle those legs back and forth. Then we'll take those feet, bringing them together, bring them close into the hips as we can. Kind of rocking so we're up on those sit bones. Taking an inhale. And as we exhale, folding over those feet. Trying to keep that length in that back. So if we still feel like we're starting to roll down, just start to come up out of the pose just a little bit. Letting those legs just fall naturally. Try not to push them down. The knees will come down when they're ready. Taking those deep inhales and exhales. And we'll slowly place those hands on the mat, pushing ourselves up. Take those hands, place them on the knees, give those knees a little help up. And then we'll slowly start to make our way down all the way onto our mat. We'll bring those knees into those chests. Just kind of hold it here. If you want to roll the ankles. And then we'll try to take a hold of each of the feet on the outside of those feet, bringing those knees into those armpits. The legs are kind of out wide, and then slowly start to rock side to side, giving ourselves a little back massage here. Maybe holding one spot if we need to hold it down a little bit longer. If it's too much on the back, holding the feet, release the feet and just hold those legs. And then we'll slowly release those legs. Bring them down onto the mat, one leg at a time. And we'll do one final stretch, taking those arms up overhead, stretching those arms, stretching those legs, full body stretch like we're just waking up in the morning. And then letting it all fall onto the mat. Letting those feet fall to wherever's comfortable. We'll bring those arms down alongside the body. Start to close the eyes. Start to refocus on the breath. Starting to clear the mind of any thoughts that we might have. Trying to clear the day away. Clearing the body of any stresses or tensions that we're holding on to. Just feeling it melt away with each exhale. Feeling ourselves sink deeper and deeper into the mat. Taking this time to just be with yourself. Not have to think about anything or worry about anything. Maybe this is the only chance you have to do that all day. So try to take these next few minutes to just take advantage of that. To just be on your mat. And to just be. Start to bring a little life back into your body by wiggling your fingers and toes. Roll your wrists and ankles. Start to rock your head from side to side. When you feel ready, take one foot, place it on the mat, and follow it by the other foot. Then slowly bring one knee into the chest, followed by the other. Taking a hold of the legs, slowly rock side to side. And when you feel ready, roll onto your right side. With your right side grounded by the earth, leaving your left side open to the sun, the moon, and the stars, and all the gifts the universe has to offer you today. When you're ready, come up to a comfortable seated position. We'll take the hands, place them in front of the heart. Close the eyes one last time. Take a deep inhale. Exhaling it all out. Thank you for sharing your practice with me this evening. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.